Create a gradient heading in Brizy has never been easy. This can be done in both the Pro and free versions of Brizy WordPress and Brizy Cloud. And apart just from adding a simple gradient to it, you can also create an effect like this where you have a fade in of text almost from your image. Let's have a look at how you can do the standard gradient and then how you can do this. Let's bring in a new block and I'll just grab this one. And what is important when using gradient text is the font. You need to have an impact font, a font that's really thick and also a little bit more narrow so it can take up more space on the page so that when you bring in that gradient, it is noticeable. Otherwise, it doesn't have that intended impact. Let's click on it and then we go to the color. And over here where you see the drop down under solid, you select gradient and it's going to give you the black to the green. Let's leave it on that so that we can work with it. The first thing you'll notice is that you have an option between linear and radial. Most cases, I leave it on linear. Then you have your degrees here. Now 90 degrees is going to give it to you from left to right. You see the black on this side and the green on this side. If you want it completely turned around, that should be 270 degrees. And Bob's your uncle, it switches it around. To have it from top down, we start at 180. Think of a flat surface. And if you want it the other way around, then you type in 0. I like that 180 degrees. So let's put that back there. The next important part is that you can control the fade in. Grab the slider here on the left, drag it a little bit to the middle, and then the green one, drag it to the middle. And you can see you have a more abrupt transition in the middle, maximizing that effect. To increase the efficiency of this, I'm going to show you what I meant by the font. Now, Montserrat on black, and what I'll do is put it on all caps. It just looks immediately better the moment you go and you put it on uppercase for all of them. Now, I'll also reduce the line height to bring these guys closer, and more it's starting to look much better. The bigger the text, the better for this kind of effect. So what I want to look for is a font that is quite narrow. And you just look at the size of these fonts as you scroll through them. And Oswald is a good bet for a very narrow font. And then I put it on bold, and now I can increase it. And you will see what I mean by that impact. Just much better and much more visual. Go search around on Google. Let's try one of these Google fonts. And one that I found that also works very well for future ones are Brizy. And continue. Done. Select the text again, and we put it on Brizy. Now I'll just reduce it again. And you see we have a nice futuristic effect. Also note here that by default, this pre-made block that we brought in had letter spacing applied of -1.5. This is also a good tip to reduce the space between the letters. And again, it gives you more space to increase your text and make it bigger. Now, how do we achieve this kind of effect? That is good if you have an image on the back. So let's grab one with the image. And what I'll do is reduce the overlay. Click on this. We make it big heading. I'll put it on white so we can see it for now. And now we change it up. Let's go again with Brizy, seeing that we've already done that. Brizy only has this normal setting, nothing else. And I will increase it. And all I do is hold down on the up key, and then I will reduce the letter spacing more. And then let's increase it a little bit more. And you will have to do this also for responsive design on tablets and mobiles. From here, let's go and apply that effect. So we're going to use two colors for this gradient. So put it on gradient again. And what we want is white. And then we want a translucent color on the other side. And that actually can be anything, but I recommend you use white. So leave this one on white and click on the green button and we select white. Doesn't make a big impact. What we'll do is grab the opacity slider and drag it all the way, almost all the way down. A small glitch currently here is that if you drag the opacity slider all the way to 0, it reduces it for both sides. It's not what we want. And what you want to achieve is as close as possible. I usually get it to around 2 if I'm lucky. I wish I could get it onto 1. But look at that nice effect that we've applied there now. It fades into the background. Next, I will put it linear on 180 degrees. So we have that gradient at the bottom. And then I'll grab my 2 sliders here on the gradient and just bring them closer to each other to make this more pronounced. For more tips, tricks, tutorials, and updates on Brizy, ensure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.